You know what I mean? I know what we are. Do you know what I mean? And I know whose fault it is. So it is what it is. The one thing is, yeah, it's like a lot of Man United fans, not even Man United fans, a lot of football fans don't know the first thing about football, innit? It's like the
Mhm.
majority of the fans have bought into this narrative that it's the players' fault. And it's not. Do you know what I'm saying? Because all the teams that are outplaying us, we wouldn't take any of their players. So how does that
Facts.
make sense? So how does that make sense, bro? Yesterday we played Copenhagen. I wouldn't take one of their players. I don't even know them.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You know what I
I
mean?
don't know any
I
of their
wouldn't I
players.
wouldn't take any of Sheffield United's players. They played us off the park. Burnley played us off the park. Wouldn't
Brentford.
take any of their players. Brentford. Do you know what I'm saying? The list goes on. I wouldn't take these guys, bro. So when people want to blame the players, yeah, it's like no. Because if we were, yeah, on paper, one of the worst teams in the league, it would make sense. But on paper, we're not. So when the performances on the pitch don't match what's on the paper, this is where you look at the manager. Because it's the
Mm.
manager's job to get the best out of these players that they can possibly get. That's literally your job as a manager. That's your only job. Your only job as a manager, yeah, is to get the players at least playing to the level they should be playing at. Top managers get players playing above the level that they're at. Do you know what I mean? A lot of Tottenham players are probably playing above their level.
Oh yeah,
Do you know what I'm
facts. Yeah,
saying?
like Romero, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of them are playing above their level, and that's how you know you're in a good team. When Liverpool was successful, yeah, a lot of their players were playing above their level. They're players like Henderson and Wijnaldum and that. These guys are not world beaters, but they're playing above their level. If you can't even get your players to play at their base level, it's your fault because you're the manager. You're the one that's supposed to find a system to be able to get the best out of as many players as possible. And the players that you can't get the best out of, you move them on. That's just what
Mm.
it is. You know what I'm
I just
saying?
feel
You
like
move
it's
it
paper
on.
over the cracks. Like all these results, like Scott McTominay's 2 goals against Brentford, beating Burnley, beating Sheffield United,
Yeah.
winning last night. No, you haven't been good in any of those games, but it's paper over the
We've not
cracks.
been good in any game this season, bro. None. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that Højbjerg's come in here for Basuma and he's looked every bit as good as Basuma in there. Like
He was very good yesterday.
Basuma wasn't missed. And the reason why Basuma wasn't missed is because it's the system, it's the team. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it should be. It should be easy to take a player out and slot one in because when you've got a proper functioning machine, you can do that 1 or 2 games. You can do that. Do you know what I mean? And this comment here, yeah, I've already touched on this, yeah, but I'll do it again, yeah, because a lot of people like to lie in it. And this is another narrative amongst the Man United fan base that has been peddled. Man saying, yeah, that the players have a bad mentality under multiple managers. Not true, blood. Not true. That's just what it is. We've had 2 interim managers in Ralph and Carrick was there for like 2-3 games or something. So you can take him out of this. It's only really Ralph.
Mm.
Ollie was our full-time manager. Do you know what I'm saying? And Ten Hag. Since Jose Mourinho has left, yeah, we've signed probably double figures of players who are in the squad right now. There's not many players, yeah, that were there at the club before Jose, bro. Like, there's not many, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? When you think about Jose's first window, it was Eric Bailly, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Victor Lindelof was in his second window. Victor's still there. Paul Pogba, Nemanja Matic. All these players I mentioned are not at the club no more. So what are we talking about multiple managers? These players that are at this club have been at the club. Most of them have been at the club for a maximum of 3 years, bruv. So we can't start talking like that. They're throwing loads of managers under the bus. Get out of here. Like, that's crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? The Ralph situation, it was an interim manager, bro. It doesn't matter what happened then. It doesn't matter what happened under Ralph and Michael Carrick. Now, I mean, we were in the middle of a shitstorm. So it doesn't really matter. We just got rid of our manager. We had no backup option, so we brought in a stopgap. So whatever happened under Ralph doesn't matter. Ralph was never going to be the Man United manager. Like, Ralph literally came in, yeah, just to have a closer look about what's going on at the club so he could move upstairs. Ralph was never meant to be the manager. And that's why Ronaldo was like, well, I ain't heard of this guy. Like, he's a director of football because he was never a manager. And Carrick came in because we had no one else. So you can't even count them two. Whatever happened there, it doesn't matter. Might as well you just don't have a manager.
It's just bad decision after bad decision after bad decision.
I'm not blaming these players. You know what I mean? You're saying I do blame some players, not gonna lie. Bruno does stink, but Bruno doesn't pick himself. Bruno didn't give himself the captain's armband. I don't blame Bruno for being in the team. I don't blame him for being a bad player because if I was the manager, he wouldn't even be at the club. So I'm absolutely not going to blame Bruno Fernandes, yeah, for being Man United captain because it's not his fault. It's the manager's fault.
Do you know what it is as well? Like looking from the outside in as a neutral fan, looking at United, I don't see this situation improving anytime soon. Like these narrow wins, papering over the cracks are great, but eventually, like you're going to come unstuck. It's the same as Arsenal. Arsenal have won games, a lot of games this season narrowly, where they haven't been the best. Like the last 15 minutes, I thought Sevilla were going to get something last night against
Bruv,
them.
even before they scored, do you know what I mean? They weren't the better side, but do you know what I mean? Like there's only so long you can keep getting away with performances like that. Do you know what I mean? Later on down throughout the season, it's gonna catch up with them.
Who have you got on the weekend?
We're gonna get smoked by City, bruv.
Oh man, that's that. Is that at home or away?
Doesn't matter, bro. You know what I'm saying? It could be in a Trafford Centre,
It's
bruv.
at home.
Do you know
Why
what I
is
mean?
it a 3:30 kickoff?
I have no idea, bro. Like honestly, it could be in a shopping centre, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't really
playground.
matter where it is, bro. Getting smoked. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones. It might not be a massive score line, but I guarantee you they're gonna play us off the park.
Facts. And they haven't been that great either the last few weeks. Their performances have dropped off massively.
Who's
Absolutely
City's?
massively. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think against Arsenal, I didn't think they were that great.
I think City lacked cutting edge against Arsenal, but also
Wolves away as well. I didn't think they were that great.
yeah, but they played well against Brighton. Maybe not towards the end, but the thing is with Man City, yeah, they needed Rodri, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they needed him. Do you know what I'm saying?
He got
Like,
yellow carded again, didn't he? He's what is he? One yellow card off being suspended again.
He can't be surely because when you get sent off, it resets your yellows.
Doesn't it go back one, or does it reset?
It resets it completely
Oh,
because
right.
you serve the suspension. Nah. You serve a suspension, then it resets. Unless, yeah, because what it does is I think if it's like how like the futsal one is, I think it's 5 yellows, then 10, then so it's like every 5 yellows or something like that. So if that was his 5th yellow card, or was that straight red? The Rodri thing. Was it a red card? It was a red card, right?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how many yellows he had before that, but I think it wipes it to 0 after you serve a suspension. I think. Do you know what I mean? I could be wrong, but I think so.
Did you see Akanji's red card at the end?
No, I saw him leave the pitch, but I didn't see the challenge.
Just there's no need for it. The game's won. Like you're 2-1 up, and you get sent off in the 95th minute. There's no need for it.
Foolishness, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're saying it doesn't reset. In the chat, that's what they're saying. So it'd be interesting.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? What we've already got 4 losses in 9 Premier League games. That's almost 50% loss rate. You know, it's crazy, bro.
We've got a tough game on Friday. Palace away. I think we'll beat them though.
Yeah. I think so as well. The way you're playing, like you've got no reason to think that you're not going to beat anyone.
And then we've got Chelsea at home. I think we'll beat them. Wolves away. I think we'll beat them. And then the toughest game is going to be Villa because Villa are playing very well at the moment. Ollie Watkins is doing absolute bits for Villa.
Bruv, he's a good player. He's a good player. He's maturing, isn't it? He's
Would
maturing.
you take him at United?
Nah, I wouldn't take him at Man United because he's not a Man United player, but he is a player.
I think he'd do well for us. Put him through the middle.
Yeah, for you lot. Yeah, absolutely. Because of the way you play, the way you press, the way you transition, he would suit you. Do you know what I mean? Like he could play for a Liverpool as well, like a team that transitions because he's that player. He's like a willing runner and like it's that kind of thing. He's not necessarily a build-up player, but he's a transition player. I like him. I like Ollie Watkins, man. You know what I mean? So now he's a good player, bro. Like I respect his thing still. And it's like I've seen him improve in it since he came up. Since he came up, you can see he's maturing in the role as a centre forward. His finishing's improving and his movement's always been good anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's kind of like a throwback striker that runs the channels, does loads of different things, man. He's a good player, man. You know what I mean? He's a good player. He's not an absolute worldie, but you don't need to be. You don't need to be, bro. Like you'll score goals. If you feed him, he's someone that will score goals. You know what I mean? So he's a decent player. I can't lie.
Yeah, I think him, Diaby, Leon Bailey, Villa have got a good setup down there. You know, they're comfortable in midfield. Douglas Luiz is I think he scored 5 or 6 goals. Defensively, they've been pretty sound. I think they've scored. I think only Newcastle scored more goals than Villa in the league, which is mad. Villa have scored 23 goals in 9 games.
Whoa. Yeah, bro, they're playing really well, bro. They're playing really well.
They won 4 of their last 5 games.
Flip. But yeah, man, I didn't even know that.
Do you think, like, because obviously Tottenham are in the media a lot at the moment saying, "Oh, could we win a title?" I don't think we will. I'll say that right now. I don't think we will.
No. The target's got to be top 4.
Yeah,
and I mean, and if you stay in the top 4, yeah, I do. If you stay in the top 4, yeah, and I think you will stay in the top 4. I think that Tottenham are probably going to finish. I'll say they're probably going to finish 4th. Do you know what I'm saying? But being at the top now, it's a good cushion. Do you know what I'm saying? I think over the course of the season, I still think he'll finish 4th. I still think he'll finish behind Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City. So
better all-round squads. The only thing I'll say, that one game a week is going to do wonders for us. Because
Absolutely.
when we play Newcastle, West Ham in December, I think we've got 6 or 7 games up until West Ham and Newcastle, and they've got West Ham have got 10 and Newcastle have got 11. That's a lot of football to play in the next couple of months. And Newcastle, obviously, they play tonight against Dortmund. Then they've got you lot in the EFL Cup. Then they've got Dortmund again. Then they've got PSG. And then they've got you in the league as well, and Arsenal in the league. Yeah, so they've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 games before they play us, whereas we've only got 7. We just need to keep everyone fit. The long thing about it is, it's great.
You've got a good chance. You've got a good chance to be successful, but bro, luck plays a massive part in all of these things as well. This is what people don't understand. It's not getting injuries. Do you know what I'm saying? And all of those things. Obviously, less fixtures is obviously a positive thing, but also you have to look at the other teams as well. Like the other teams' fixture congestions, injuries, all of these things play a part to where you finish. Where you finish in the league is not just about what you do, it's what everyone else does also. That's what people tend to forget. And that's why, for instance, when you look at United, we finished third last season, yeah, but we only scored 52 goals. And the only reason why we finished third is because there was a bag of teams below us that were worse, your team being one of them. That's not the case this season. So how other teams do definitely affects where you'll finish. So yeah, you can only worry about yourself, but also you need a bit of luck elsewhere.
If we hypothetically were to stay injury free for the whole season and bring in 2 or 3 players in January, I think we could challenge getting into that top 3, because everyone else, we haven't got another competition to play until January, which is the FA Cup. Whereas Liverpool have got Europa League and the League Cup. City have obviously got Champions League, Club World Cup, FA Cup, Premier League. The only other team that I'd expect him to be getting up there is Aston Villa, because they can rotate their players for their Conference League. Like the level of the standard in that competition is like Championship level. Like most of the teams in the Championship would beat the teams in the Conference League. Other than Fiorentina, I look at the teams and go, how
Conference League's dusted, bro.
How we didn't get out of the group in that competition is daylight robbery.
But then you have to question the players. Did they want to?
Well, it's always a mentality thing with Tottenham, isn't it? It's always a mentality thing.
A lot of them probably just couldn't be asked, though. I'll be real, and I wouldn't blame them if that was the case, because that competition is a waste of time. Obviously, a trophy's a trophy if you're Tottenham, but
I do some, pause. I do some disgusting things for that, like filthy things, just to get my hand on a trophy, even if it's Conference League, even if it's a Community Shield. I was at the ground yesterday, and when I was in my fan cams, a couple of people come up to me and were saying, "Oh, do you think we can actually do you think we can do something?" And I said, if I'm Postecoglou, I would do everything, absolutely everything for that FA Cup. But Levy doesn't want that.
No, he doesn't.
The priority has never been money. A domestic cup.
Yeah, he wants a Champions League money. No, I mean, man, I don't care. Man, I don't want that FA Cup. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's something that you could win.
If we're up there in January, top 3, do you not think this is one of Levy's best opportunities in years to just go, there's 150, 200 million quid?
Not necessarily, because, and the thing is, if he gave him that money, I don't think he'd spend it anyway. You know what I mean? We said similar things about Arsenal last season when they were top of the league in January. Yo, go buy Caicedo, go buy Mudryk. Do you know what I mean? And they didn't, and they paid the price. But the difference is, I think realistically, they were further along in their development to win the league than you are. This is your first season, so I think you just need to take every game like as it comes. I wouldn't even be thinking about the possibility of winning the league, bro. Like, that's crazy to me.